everyone, welcome back to my class. This is Mehjabin Fatima, Commerce lecturer at Ahlabad High School and Junior College. We can see that business services has been divided into 5 types. They are banking services, insurance services, communication services, transportation services and warehouse services. Now let's discuss about each service in detail. So what is bank? Bank is an institution which performs the functions of accepting deposits, granting loans and making investments with the main aim of earning profit. So under bank there are some functions like depositing, granting loans, making investments, etc. So these functions are done by banking services. Now let's see what are the types of banks. So here banks are classified into 4 types. They are commercial banks, cooperative banks, central bank and specialized bank. When we see commercial bank, these banks again has been divided into 2 types. They are private bank and public banks. So under private bank, HDFC, ICI banks will come, and under public banks, PNB and SBI will come. So what are cooperative banks? The name itself is showing that cooperative banks are made specially for cooperative societies. Now what are central banks? These banks are central banks. We can call them as head banks also. So these banks will control all banks and monetary system. Here the example we can take as RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. And what do you mean by specialized bank? So these banks will run only for special purposes. So these are the 4 types of banks. Now let's discuss what are the types of bank accounts. First one is savings account. So this savings account is maintained by salaried person and small investors like us. In our daily life we try to save money. So here we can use that saving account. And the main aim of saving account is to encourage the saving habit. So the goal is to encourage the saving habit among the people of the country. And here it does have restrictions under transactions. Means every time whenever the account holder wants to withdraw or wants to deposit the money, he cannot do such transactions. These transactions are restricted under savings account, and here the account holder will get interest from bank. Current account. Again these accounts are being maintained by business persons, and here there are no restrictions. Means there is no restriction for withdrawing or depositing the money. Anytime whenever the businessman will want, he can deposit or he can withdraw the money. Here interest is not allowed. Here there is no interest on such account holder. And recurring deposits. Here deposits on regular basis. The person who is holding this recurring deposit account has to pay the amount on regular basis, and here the higher interest will be paid by the bank to the account holder. Term deposit account. This is somewhat similar to savings account. Here date and amount are not fixed. When the person has to deposit money and what amount has to be deposited, here they are not fixed. But whereas under term deposit, here the date and amount of money has been fixed and higher rate of interest will be given by the bank. Multiple option deposit account. It is a combination of fixed deposit and saving account. Here time limit is set for savings. Means whenever the person has to save money, the time limit is set. Under that time limit only the person has to deposit the money. E-banking. We all know currently we are using this. So e-banking are the services provided by banks over internet. Here with the help of internet we are using this e-banking facility. We can call it as 24/7 facility as well. Means anytime 24 hours and 7 days at any date or any time we can use this e-banking facility. Here transactions are done from home office, means wherever the person is he can use this service, and it has greater security. Means it doesn't have anything like if I am taking the money to the bank, there is a higher risk where my money can be theft or my money can be stolen. So we can say that e-banking has greater security. As we can say here the amount is being transacted through the phone, so there is no need of keeping cash in our hands. So it does have greater security. So these are the types of banking accounts. See what are transportation services. So these transportation service helps to move goods and passengers from one place to another place. So here there are 4 modes of transportation. They are roadways, we all know through the vehicles we can use this type of transportation. And railways, the name itself is showing that railways means the trains, with the help of trains we can use this type of transportation. And airways, with the help of planes we are using this type of transportation, and waterways, with the help of ships we are using this transportation. This transportation removes hindrance of place. As I told you earlier, if I am ordering something from another country or another city and I want that thing to my city at my doorstep, for that I need this transportation service. So through the transportation service, my product will be delivered at my doorstep. Let's discuss what are warehouse services. So warehouse services helps in storage of a goods in a systematic manner in order to maintain original value and quality usefulness, and it also helps in removing hindrance of time, as I told you earlier. So there are certain types of warehousing services. So first one is government warehouses, where these types of warehouses are being owned and managed by the government. And bonded warehouse means here the goods are imported or exported through the ships. When the goods are imported and exported through the ships, that goods has to be stored somewhere. So to store that goods, that service is being provided by bonded warehouses. And again the cooperative warehouses, the name itself is showing that this warehouse has been designed only for the cooperative societies. And public warehouses, these types of warehouses can be used by any people. It is for the public. These warehouses has been designed for the public use. And again private warehouses, these warehouses are owned by the private individuals so that they can store their goods in their own warehouses. So these are the types of warehouses. Let's see what are the functions of warehousing services. So first function is consolidation, means for example A, B and C are the manufacturers and they are keeping their goods at one warehouse, and the customer 1, 2 and 3 want different goods, and the customer 1, 2 and 3 they all want the goods from A, B and C. Means the first customer wants goods from A, B and C, again the second customer wants goods from A, B and C, and again the third customer wants goods from A, B and C. So instead of going to all the places, warehouse will gather all required goods from A, B and C and provide them for customer 1, 2 and 3. Means the goods will be stored at one place where 1, 2 and 3 customer can go and get their goods at one place instead of going individually to A, B and C. Another function is break the bulk. Here warehouse is collecting all goods in bulk quantity from producers or manufacturers, and they are transferring those goods to the customers in small patches, or they are making the small patches of each goods and they are providing that service to the customers. Another service provided by warehouse is stock piling. So stockpiling means it does store the goods which are not required at the particular time. Here we can take example of seasonal fruit and vegetable. So there are certain fruits and vegetables which will get only according to the season. So that seasonal fruits and vegetables are being stored here under warehousing services. So here warehousing services is piling the stocks. Value added service. These warehouses will provide the services like mixing, packing, labeling, grading, etc. And last function is price stabilization. So here we can say that warehouses is stabilizing the price, means the price is being adjusted and the warehouse is supplying the goods according to the demand. Means when the demand will arise in the market, so as to supply will also arise in the market. So these are the functions of warehouse. Now let's continue with insurance. So our another service is insurance service. In our daily life we face so many risks, or we can say that our life is full of risks and we cannot eradicate all the risks totally, but instead we can reduce our risk by taking the insurance policy. So the insurance we can call it as contract, where one party agrees to pay the loss which has been faced by another party due to uncertain event in consideration of regular payment. Now these are the principles on which insurance policy is being based. So first principle is utmost good faith, means when the two parties are coming into contract, they should be having the good faith, means they should disclose their all information, means the company who is providing the insurance policy to the holder of policy, he should disclose all the information relating to the insurance policy, and the person who is taking the policy, he should also disclose all the information regarding his life, all the information which is necessary. Insurable interest, it is our another principle of insurance policy. Let's take the example. A is the policy holder who took the policy of car insurance, and in this scenario he sold out his car to the B. B is another person who got the ownership of that car. Now what happened is that car has been theft from B. Here A cannot go to the insurance bank and he cannot claim the insurance of that car, as the ownership of that car has been shifted to B. Here B is the person who can go to the insurance company and he can claim the insurance. Our another principle is proximate cause, means bringing back to the same position. For example, I am holding any factory and I took the insurance of my factory. So what happens? Suddenly my factory caught fire, and due to which I faced loss of 20 lakhs and the goods of 10 lakhs are saved in my factory. So here I cannot ask the insurance bank to pay me all 30 lakhs amount. As I have faced the loss of 20 lakhs, I will get only 20 lakhs. I cannot get all 30 lakhs. So here I can claim how much the loss I have faced, that much amount only I can claim from the insurance policy. Subrogation means here if my car has been damaged and I sold out my car, I cannot claim the insurance policy on the damaged good. Another principle is contribution. For say Mr. X has taken 3 policies. He has taken 3 different policies. In this scenario he has faced loss of 10 lakhs, and in this case he cannot ask all the 3 policy banks to give back his amount, or he cannot claim the insurance of all 3. Here the money will be contributed by all 3 insurers and that money will be given to Mr. X. The contribution will be done here. Each member will not give the 10 lakh amount. Now let's see what are the types of insurance services. Here we are having life insurance, health insurance, fire insurance, marine insurance, and the insurance which will come instead of these insurance comes under other insurances. So these are the types of insurances. Our last service is communication service. So this service, under this service transmission will takes place. Transmission of ideas from one person to another person. Again this services has been divided into 2 types, that is telecommunication service and postal service. So under telecommunication service, cellular mobile service, radio paging service, fixed line service, these are the services provided by telecommunication services. And under postal services, we are having services provided by Indian Post and Telegraph departments, financial facilities, mail facilities and others like greeting post, international money transfer, speed post, etc. So these all comes under communication services. So this was all about our 3rd chapter, that is business services. I hope you understood it very well. We will continue in our next class. Thank you.